This is the all-new third-gen Volvo S60, a car that was supposed to come to India last year, but it never made it here on time. And although it's finally here with us today, it won't reach showroom floors until March 2021. There's no doubt the S60 is running behind schedule, and it has all happened at a time when the world is a more difficult place. You see, we have an ongoing pandemic, and more importantly, everybody is running towards SUVs as if it's some sort of vaccine. And anyway, if you happen to be one of those discerning ones who prefers a luxury sedan over an SUV, I think it's really hard to look beyond the German trio of Audi, BMW and Mercedes. Now all of this means that the S60, even before its arrival, finds itself in a very tricky and tough spot. But don't make the mistake of dismissing the S60 just as yet, because this Swede, as you'll now find out, has a couple of tricks up its sleeve. Since this is the third generation of the S60, everything here is brand new. The S60 now rides on Volvo's Scalable Product Architecture or SPA platform, which also underpins virtually every other Volvo product today, including the likes of XC60, XC40, S90 and XC90. You don't have to be told this though, since it's already quite evident on the surface. Like every Volvo in the family, the S60 follows the brand's new design philosophy. There is the signature LED headlamps with Thor's hammer-shaped DRLs, a large and imposing grille, and at the back you have C-shaped LED tail lamps similar to the S90s. To my eyes, the S60's design is the classiest and most pleasant in its segment, and that alone will attract a lot of customers. Of course, it looks a lot like a mini S90, which it is, but the S60 has a more sporty side to it. Now, of course, you can't be blamed to mistake it for the S90 because it's based on the same platform and it looks exactly like the S90. But if you want to distinguish it from its elder sibling, there are a few different bits. For example, the side profile of this car, I think it looks a lot more sporty than the S90 because the S90 has a slightly flatter roofline and it's more stately in that sense. But the S60, as you can see, B-pillar onwards, it's like slanting down, and you can see the roofline is low and it feels a little more sporty than the S90. Same goes at the back because the S90 has a slightly flatter approach there, but this is sort of cropped and you can see it's slanted. So this is where the difference between the S90 and S60 I think comes, because this looks a lot more sporty, especially with those 18-inch wheels, and this is the inscription trim. So still this looks a lot more sporty I think than the S90, which is more of a luxurious and stately sedan. Now, as we have come to expect from Volvos, the interior, it's really very classy and elegant, and it's no different from other Volvo products as the XC40 or XC60 or even the S90. So again, it's based on the same SPA platform, so it follows the same formula of being a minimalistic design. There are not a lot of buttons. This has just a vertically stacked touchscreen, the Sensus 9-inch screen, so it packs all the features, all the controls that you have in the car. In fact, even the instrumentation, which is digital, it's a 12.3-inch screen, but all the controls you can manage it from the touchscreen itself. Now that, of course, it's very convenient, and the unit itself, it's very sleek and it's very crisp. It feels like a tab that's been fixed here. So in that regard, it's a very good unit. Now, of course, there are a few niggles because this also has the controls for air conditioner. So basically all the temperature controls you have to fiddle with the touch screen all the time, so that is a bit distracting, and well, when you're driving, it's not really easy to navigate through all the controls. The S60 will be offered in just inscription trim in India. There will be 3 interior upholstery options and 5 exterior colors to choose from. Since this is the only variant available, it has a lot of features as standard. This includes power adjustable front seats with lumbar support, Harman Kardon sound system, 4-zone air conditioning, adaptive cruise control and more. There are 3 driving modes: Eco, Comfort and Dynamic. Being a Volvo, it also comes standard with the company's city safety tech, which now offers more advanced driver assistance systems. Now, my absolute favorite thing in this car is the driving seat. In fact, all the seats are very comfortable, and as you can see, I'm cocooned here, and it's very sporty and very supportive, and it's very comfortable as well. When you're driving long distance, I think you'll really appreciate how comfortable these seats are. So in that regard, it feels very modern and very luxurious. Now coming to the rear seat space of the S60, well, as you can see, there's a lot of knee room and there's a lot of space as well. I think this is one of the most spacious cabins in the segment, apart from the, I think, C-Class or the Lexus ES. I don't think any other car in the segment has this much of legroom. Now, of course, that's great, but as you can see, because of the slanting roof, the headroom is limited, and I'm 5'9", and I think anyone over 6, I think they'll struggle to sit here. Now, other problem again with the tall passengers, it's going to be the seat is quite low, and as you can see, it's angled as well. So when you're sitting down, you see the knees are pointing up. So over long distances, I think this is not going to be very comfortable. And of course, this car also has 4-zone air conditioning, so you get your separate controls. As in the passenger sitting here, they can change the temperature as per their wish, and same goes for the passenger on the other side. As for the middle passenger, I don't think it's a 3-seater because there is a prominent transmission hump over here, and I think it is going to be a problem even for kids. On the upside though, you get these USB-C ports at the back, which isn't the case at the front, because at the front you get 2 USB ports, but of course these are conventional ones. So this is really a great feature, and you also have your AC vents over here. So again, it's a comfortable place, it's a very roomy interior, and I think apart from the fact that the seat is really lacking that under thigh support, I think it's a great place to be. The quality levels are very good overall. The dashboard with stitched leather top looks and feels classy. However, the use of hard plastics on door panels and around center console is a downer in an otherwise sumptuous cabin. The Volvo S60 is going to be petrol only, and it's going to be launched in just a single engine option in India, that is T4. So this is a familiar unit because it's already available with the XC40. So there's a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. It produces 188 bhp and 300 Newton meter of torque, and this comes paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. So the powertrain is familiar, and the way it behaves, it's also quite familiar because the power delivery is quite linear. You can feel it's not urgent, but it's not lethargic either. So the way it picks up speed, it's very linear and very refined. The only glitch is probably the transmission, which when you go for that overtake, or when you're very aggressive with your throttle inputs, there is a bit of delay from the 8-speed gearbox. Otherwise, from 1700 or 1800 rpm to 6000 rpm, this powertrain has a lot of grunt. The S60 won't come with adaptive dampers in India. However, the double wishbone front and integrally linked rear axle have a good balance. The ride tends to be a touch too firm, but it isn't uncomfortable. And even though the car comes with 18-inch alloy wheels, the tires have a high profile, which helps make the ride quality better. The cabin insulation is simply superb. It's only at high speeds that you hear a bit of tire noise. Otherwise, it's silent. The combination of the new and more rigid chassis along with the taut suspension gives the S60 a more planted feel around corners, and it feels quite responsive. It's not as involving as a BMW 330i or Jaguar XE though, but it can keep the likes of Audi A4 and Mercedes C-Class in check. Now, being a Volvo, safety is the top priority here, and it shows because this car has a Euro NCAP safety rating of 5 stars. So all bases are covered on that front. Plus, this comes with a lot of safety features, as I've already told. And out of all the safety features it has, there's one feature that really stands out, and this is a lane keeping aid. So what it does is basically when you're driving on a well-marked highway, and if you change lanes without indicating, it tries to pull you back very gently to the same lane. And in case you make that move, the steering starts vibrating. I mean, it's not that bad. Of course, given the erratic driving in Indian conditions, it is a bit alarming at times, because sometimes you're overtaking a vehicle and the vehicle in front, let's say, it pulls out and you have to change lanes. So basically it is quite unnerving when, you know, the car tries to pull it back within the lane. So of course you can turn it off, but I think it's a good feature and it keeps you aware of what you're doing. So I think in that regard, of course, Volvo takes safety very seriously, and in the S60, of course, it shows. So I'm on a highway right now, and I'm going to demonstrate how lane keeping aid works. Now first let me check there's no traffic behind, of course. So let's say I'm in the middle lane and I want to switch to the left lane. So I'm not indicating, and look what happens if I... So basically the steering is trying to pull me back. So it starts vibrating. It does it very gently. It's not that it pulls it back aggressively. It does it very gently. So I think it's a great safety feature to have. So again, if safety is one of your top priorities, we have seen this, like a lot of buyers now pay heed to all the safety features that are offered in a car. So I think even on that front, this being a Volvo scores really well. So to sum it up, the Volvo S60 is going to arrive with a very limited number of options. First of all, there's no diesel, it's only available with the petrol engine, and this is only going to be offered in just a single trim, that is T4 inscription. Now that means the buyers are not going to have a lot of choice. But as a car, as a sports sedan or executive sedan, whichever way you look at it, I think this is a jack of all trades. It does everything brilliantly. It's a good handler. The ride quality is really nice. There's a lot of space at the back and it looks fantastic. It's not offensive or overly loud like some of the other cars in the segment. So I think in that regard, it is going to attract a lot of customers which are looking for an entry-level sedan. Now the most important bit is the pricing. Of course, the prices will be out in March, but there's a catch there, because unlike other Volvos or other rivals, this car is not going to be assembled in India. It's going to be brought into the country as a direct import from the USA, and it'll be interesting to see how they place this model on the market. But this being a top-end variant, I think it's going to have a sticker price of around 50 lakh rupees, which is kind of justified. So overall, there are a lot of things that might not work in the S60's favor. But I think this car here, it's a reminder that for someone who doesn't want an SUV or the usual German trio, I think this car, it really stands out. So as an executive sedan, I think it's a really great product and it'll definitely find its niche.